Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. You know that song, you know that sound, you know what I say every week to introduce this show because I'm a walking cliche. It's the weekend and it's time for the James Freel Show. This is the second time I started this show. I tried starting it out on Friday, got about 10 minutes in, was exhausted, and it wasn't going good, and I think I have some decent material. I was telling myself then I think it was going to be a pretty good show. So we'll see if I can live up to that hype that I've already put that much pressure on me to do a decent job. How's your week go? How'd your week go? You know, it was sort of funny. Having started to try it on Friday, I was thinking, all right, I'm gonna get back to putting these shows up on Friday and not waiting until Sunday at the very last minute. Because to me, Sunday's it's a weekend thing. I always say, that means it's the weekend, so, yeah, of course, by this point, it's like I'm putting it up, and when I say it's the weekend, I actually did have a solid excuse for not getting it done Saturday, but I didn't have a good excuse for not getting it done Friday. I mean, being tired really isn't that good of an excuse. But hey, I'm here, and, we're soon coming up to a year, I think, on me doing these things. A lot of people start weird things like this and they'll revisit it every now and then. That's how I was when I started it back in 2017. But in any case, sorry, I gotta bring up the I actually typed out a guide for this. I didn't print it off like I normally would, but I've got it on there. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. News for the uninformed. Our top story, 8 blasts hit locations including churches and hotels across Sri Lanka last Sunday, leaving at least 290 people dead and 500 injured on Easter. The 5-star Sri Lanka Sharing-La, Kingsbury, and Cinnamon Grand hotels in the heart of Colombo were targeted. A local group named the National Tawhid Jamaat are believed to be behind the attack. Officials say 24 people have been arrested in connections with the attack. So yeah, that was pretty tragic. It's already been a week ago and it's already out of the news, it feels like. Or maybe time's just going really fast, but yeah, crazy how that happens. I guess crazy's not an appropriate way to describe. I mean, it is, but I mean, there's probably more sensitive ways I could be describing an event as tragic as that. We have 2 top stories because it was an eventful week for the news. Former Vice President Joseph R. Biden Jr. announced Thursday that he would seek the Democratic nomination, to challenge President Trump in 2020, casting the election as a national emergency and asking Democrats to put a task of defeating Mr. Trump above all other ambitions. In a 3.5-minute video that focused on excoriating Mr. Trump, Mr. Biden presented himself as a steely leader for a country racked by political conflict. Yeah, I saw that. I don't like to get political on here because I have no backbone and I'm incapable for standing up for any opinion I have. And if I ever make an opinion, I gotta back off like right away. Jeez, my voice is cracking. I just woke up, and I want to get this done because I've got a busy day ahead of me. So we'll see how it goes. In sports, on Thursday, the NFL draft kicked off. The first overall pick with the Arizona Cardinals selecting Oklahoma quarterback Kyle Murray. The New York Giants surprised the world by drafting the quarterback from Duke. See, I'm not reading anything now. And they passed on Dwayne Haskins or something. I think that Dwayne Haskins is a one-year wonder. And my team, the Bengals, I think made a pretty good draft selection. Alright, sorry about that. I had to hit the pause button. I think I was talking about the Bengals, and I think they made some great choices, and everyone was like, we need to get Haskins. And there was I saw an article shared by ESPN that was saying, real possibility that Bengals select quarterback in the first round. I would have been livid if they did that. I am a huge Andy Dalton supporter. Okay, I know I've probably said this more times than you can count on two hands, but we're not going to just get an elite quarterback. And I will admit, Andy Dalton is not elite, but he is a franchise QB. That's just how it is, okay? He has proven that when you put him behind a solid line and give him weapons, he can carry a team. And that's what you want. You don't want... I'm sorry, but the Kansas City Chiefs giving Patrick Mahomes all of the money, the Seattle Seahawks giving Russell Wilson all of the money. I mean, look what happened in Green Bay when you're like, oh, we have this elite GOAT franchise quarterback, and we're just going to give him all the money, and we can't afford to give him any weapons. You don't want that. And, like, see why the Patriots are so successful? Because Tom Brady doesn't take that much. Because he wants to win. He knows how it works. Andy Dalton proved in 2015, and probably 2011 through 2015, that when he has weapons, when you surround him, he is a team that can lead you to victory. All right? We should have won the Super Bowl in 2015, but I'll just let that go. We should have, but the curse happened, or whatever. I don't know. All right, rant over with that in respect to that. In pop culture, Martha Stewart, who served 5 months at a minimum security federal prison in West Virginia in 2004 through 2005 for lying to investigators about a stock sale, has given her take on Lawrence and Huffman's entanglement in the widespread college admission cheating scandal. I just feel sorry for them, Stewart told ET Tuesday night's Time 100 gala in New York City. They might have made a bad mistake. And, I don't care if this is unpopular. I agree with her. I feel bad for both of them also, because I don't see what the problem is with this admission scandal. I really don't. I've said before, I'm pretty cynical about college. I got a 4-year degree, graduated summa cum laude, 3.95 GPA, Phi Beta Kappa. Okay, it didn't really do anything for me. And granted, I majored in philosophy. And then there was that video. I'm pretty sure I talked this, but I'm going to give my opinion again because it's my show. That lady, that girl who said in her vlog, and she's like, I don't really care about class. And everyone was like, oh my gosh, do you see this? And for me, I'm like, yeah, talk to 90% of people who go to school. They go there for the college experience. What's the issue? I mean, rich people buy schools, buildings to get their kids into it. Why wouldn't you? What's the difference? I really don't see any difference whatsoever. And I do feel sympathy for those people. I mean, just because the punishment doesn't fit the crime. Yeah, it's not right what they do. It's not right that I don't know if it's right that rich people buy schools, buildings, and then their family gets in for the rest of eternity. But that's just the way it is, and it's just not worth to me. It's not worth getting upset about. So I don't know. I feel bad for her too, and this story was clearly written because Martha Stewart went to jail, and I guess it's supposed to make people angry by going, well, of course Martha Stewart, and she's... Yeah, I hope these people don't go to jail. I really think they're much further worse criminals that should be behind bars. I don't think cheating to get into college is one of the reasons why. So, last week, let's get into the rambling section. I had a pretty good week. I had a pretty exhausting week. But it all started out Saturday. I did the show, and I think I might have mentioned I had some acting work. I can't get through that with a straight face. This college class at a local university, Northern Kentucky University, there was a group of guys who had a final project to do. They're in the audio, video, or media, cinematography, I don't know, program that they have there. And I hope you can't hear that. But they were in there, and they needed some people to act. And David Campbell, he's been on this show before. He texts me and says, "Hey, do you want to help out with a video? We need some mobsters or something for it." And I thought, yeah, heck yes, I love making videos with groups. Not because I'm any good at it. That's just fun. It's fun. You get to hang out with people. You get to perform. And even though I'm horrible, I actually got the trailer for it, and I asked if I could use it. So I'm gonna go ahead and play it really quick for you. Hold on just a second.
The way I see it, you only have one option. Okay.
He could have told the guy someone was gonna get poisoned.
What's done is done. Let's go.
So yeah, I didn't want to. I guess since I really only distribute this on YouTube, I could have put the video also, but the video shows my real name, so I don't want to do that. No, I had a great time filming it. It was I'm told it should be out pretty soon. Um, it was hard, but I can't wait to see it. Is all I gotta say about it. I'm really looking. Acting is difficult, and there's a good chance that my performance is going to be extremely cringeworthy. I think the script is actually pretty clever. It might be a little. I don't know if it's predictable or not. I don't know. The device it uses, because I don't want to say anything, but check it out. It's jeez, hold on, look at that in the background. Anyway. Alright, you know what? It's not going to take any time for you, but I gotta stop and finish this in a few hours using the magic of editing, so I'll see you in a bit. Alright, I'm back. Yeah, I had to switch mics, and so it sounds even worse now, but I gotta finish this off before, today's been one heck of a busy day, so I'm just gonna sit here and ramble the rest of it. I really thought I had a good show, but just the timing wasn't right. I had a perfect week for the show, but not really the perfect week in terms of content to talk about, but so much going on that I'm not having a good amount of time to talk about it. And yet, quality control is never an issue here. I'll still sit here and ramble mindlessly about something that I really don't need to be talking about. So, I believe I left off, I finished talking about the acting thing. I can see I had the trailer in there for it. Beyond that, so this week I had spent 3 days, 3 days, 2 nights in West Virginia. So really just 2 days. So it was like 2 half days on each end. And for my new job, I have to deal with, which is really depressing to talk about. No one wants to hear about my lame job, but it's my show and I talk about what I want to. I'm sort of documenting my own life here. So it trained me to use certain techniques and how to handle situations in which a customer gets extremely irate, as oftentimes they do, because these devices that I work on are huge revenue generators for people, and every time they're not up, whenever they're down, then a lot of people are losing money. And so, I hope you can hear me. I don't know if you're going to be able to or not, but hopefully I can hear me when I go back and listen to this. And so I drove all the way out to West Virginia from the area I live in. And on the way there, I took a route that went through Ohio, and I didn't cross over into West Virginia until I got there. It was in Huntington, West Virginia, and it was there that I did not realize that Marshall University is in Huntington. It's that movie We Are Marshall. I saw that way back in the day. What year did that come out? Oh boy, let's see here. Let's go on to the Google over there. We Are Marshall, a 2006 film. Yeah, that sounds about right. That's when I saw it. Wow, got 7.1 on IMDb. I didn't think it was all that great, and I loved football. In retrospect, it was just sort of okay. But, yeah, it was the same town as that, and I didn't realize until I got there that that was the place and all that jazz. So, it was just cool to see that. The regional service manager for, so I get there in West Virginia, and I get in my hotel that I arranged to stay in about a week ago. Excuse me. And, I get there, and it's one of those hotels where you open your hotel room door and you're instantly outside. And so I'm like, oh geez, this is gonna be rough. This could be rough. I'm not sure how it's gonna go, but I'm staying positive. I'm staying positive. And then this might be kind of insensitive to talk about, but it was sort of funny because so I'm in West Virginia, and a lot of people down there talk with that thick accent, And then the gentleman who ran the place was of I'm gonna guess Indian descent, and he had a very thick accent. And so the two were having a bit of they're having like a bit of a misunderstanding, and they were getting heated and arguing. Hey, I should have used some of that sweet skill I was learning at my thing to do that. But anyway, yawn. Yeah, that's a good way to put this show. They were having a bit of a scuffle over stuff, and it was just amusing to hear like two opposite ends, like people from completely different cultures. At least I'm guessing it was. But that hotel was very, very disgusting. It was funny, I've talked about how the previous 2 weeks I had been in Cleveland, and in Cleveland, the hotel I stayed in was close to the nicest hotel. It was the nicest hotel that wasn't also a resort that I had also stayed in, because I've stayed in resorts before that had nicer hotel rooms, but so anyway, we but the point I was trying to make there is just that I went from staying in the nicest hotel I'd ever stayed in to, without a doubt, the worst hotel I had ever stayed in. That hotel was really bad. It was not great. First off, it just felt extremely dingy, and I don't consider myself someone who has high standards. There was a lot of grout. The restroom was disgusting. I checked for bed bugs, and there was a few beetles in the hotel room. I'm just like, geez, I didn't want to sleep in the bed that night, because the only word I could use to describe how these blankets looked and felt was greasy. And I know you're thinking, James, how on earth can a blanket, a mattress be greasy? That's just how they looked and felt, and I'm glad I was only in there for one night. And it makes sense to me why that hotel was only $50 a night. It makes total sense. So that's the last time I just randomly, I was like, oh, I'm going to be a good employee and just go with the absolute cheapest one they have. And yeah, it was not a good call. Just not a good call in the slightest. So that's that story. Moving on. So the next night, I thought it was only a 1-day training routine, and I saw some emails that said we were condensing them down into 1 day, and so I thought I'd only be there for 1 day, so I had checked out by the time I arrived at the hotel, and then when I got there, it turns out it was a 2-day thing, so I had to book another hotel, and I had already checked out of the one that was horrible. So I'm like, well, I am not staying in that hotel again. I'm going to go to a different hotel. And I did. I checked into something that was owned by Plaza something. I don't know. It was extremely tall, and on the internet, it looked like it was really fancy. It looked like it was like on the Las Vegas Strip, you know. I thought, oh, this is gonna be great, and it's about twice the cost of the last one. But I'm like, I'm not putting myself through that again. So I'm thinking, oh, it's gonna be great. Super tall hotel. It's gonna be amazing with that lighting. I drive up, and you know when they show footage of the Middle East after a like a bombing or something, or like just something that's been really torn apart. That's what that place looked like. It looked like a hotel in the Middle East after a bombing. It was like extremely. Now, to be fair, there was a lot of construction going on, but yeah, it was not a ideal situation to be in. The inside of the hotel was nicer. I was up on the 9th floor, and it was much cleaner, and I wasn't as worried about bed bugs. Excuse me, as I was at the previous one. In fact, it really wasn't, although I did see a little story about how bed bugs don't really, it's not really a poor or rich or expensive or inexpensive thing. They travel the way they travel. So, that's, something worth mentioning. No, PS4 plays DVDs. Anyway, so then I stayed there that night, and I got to watch Game 7 of the Boston Bruins versus and I need to check who won that last night. Let's see, because I know I was watching Columbus versus Boston. Sorry about that. Columbus versus Boston, I watched that, and Columbus had the lead, then it got tied up, and then sudden death overtime. Columbus wound up doing it. Let me look really quick. Okay, cool, the series is all tied up, but when I was there, also, so we went out with the group and the regional service manager, we all went out to dinner together. I had some of the best bar food I've ever had. They had like these duck fat French fries. They're like boiled in duck fat or something. And then there's these nachos that were to die for. And, what else? These fried mozzarella. I got a burger, and the burger was okay. It was really the appetizer stuff that was so amazing. I had a good time meeting with the people there. So I gotta go to work tomorrow. Not sure what time. It's one of the cool parts about this job is you're always on the move. It looks like I'm gonna be getting some of my own since I'm back from training. I'm gonna start getting assigned my own sites to take care of, which is a little nervous. It does make me a little nervous, but hey, we'll decide. We'll figure it out. The only way I'm ever gonna learn is being thrown in it. That's how I've always gotten better, and I just gotta know it's gonna suck, and but it's gonna get better. I really believe that's how it is. It's gonna suck, but I do think it'll get better. I heard a great phrase from the regional service manager talking about the customers. He says they're not asking you for much. They're just asking you for everything. Oh man, that's hilarious. That kills me. So anyway, I've been getting into. I saw a coyote on the way to West Virginia, and when I was going there, I loved the scenic route. And then when I got there, everyone's like, "Oh, you need to take the AA highway. That's the best highway." It sounds like a song or something, but that's the one you really want to go on. And I'm like, okay, I'll do that. And it was not nearly as nice. I was a much bigger fan of the route that I had initially taken. So next time I go, I will be going via Ohio. Because there I saw a lot more farm animals, and I saw a coyote just out on the road. At first I thought it was just a stray dog, and then I looked again and I'm like, that ain't a stray dog, that is a coyote. And he was just bebopping around. They're a lot more scruffy than a regular dog would be, but I guess that makes sense because they don't go to groomers. I've been getting into some different music lately. Got a lot more into soul and blues. Lou Rawls, I think I might have talked about him before, but that song, His Song Shall Be Sung, that's a great tune. What else? I did not realize, I was just listening to soul music on Apple Music, and I came across a song from Home Alone 2. Kevin McAllister walks into his uncle, and he's taking a shower and he's singing that song. I heard that song came out. I'm like, where have I heard this song before? The bum ba ba dum bum ba bum 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 ba ba dum bum. We know a guy who can really do the coo jerk. I always thought he was saying cougar, like cougar, and that really didn't make any sense because there's the lyric, they know I'm the king of the cougars. That doesn't seem like it just sounds like a young guy who's really got a thing for older women, which is not nearly as appealing of a song. So, oh man, I'm exhausted. Like I said, these past 2 days have been nuts. Been getting further in the epilogue of Red Dead Redemption 2. There's so many psycho gangs in that game, and I'm getting sick of it. I'm like, was it that evil in 1903? Was it? I don't think it should be. Maybe it was. I don't know. I really don't know. Alright. How much time have I got left? I really dropped the ball on this one, but it kind of makes sense, just given the timing. I thought I'd have more time than I did. So we'll just have to go from here. And, I think possibly next week I will be able to shoot, that's right, I do have to get up, or I got that conference call tomorrow, so I will have to do that. Other than that, yeah, I can enter into that from my phone on Skype. I'm sorry, I'm just thinking out loud here. Do I still have Skype for Business on this? Yes, I do. Great. A data machine, because I do not have upcoming. Yeah, that's tomorrow. Great. Should all work out pretty well. This should all work out pretty well. What else? Anything else? So yeah, West Virginia and the acting thing, the trailer. I'm hoping it's going to be good. I think it's going to be pretty decent. We're just going to have to wait and see how it goes. I think my performance is going to be pretty cringy. Do I have anything coming up on the horizon soon? Not that I know of. Well, I guess there's that right now, but I really just wanted to save that until next week to talk about. Oh, what could he possibly be talking about, you ask? Well, you'll just have to figure out on your own. Alright, how much time it is? I guess I can go ahead and use this as an excuse for enough time passing that I can start up the thank you so much for listening to my show spiel. I'm trying to set up this Wi-Fi and it's a pain in the neck. Someone tweet at me and tell me how to... This company, they have horrible reviews and everything, but their competition is even worse, so it's like, the worst one except for all the others. That's a clever little reference to Winston Churchill, anyone? Alright, I'll see you folks next week.
With the